we can't miss this chance where so many young people are meeting together, and so we decided to host a festival. And the festival is September 11th on to 13th for 3 days.
This is gonna be like my next project. Yeah. So basically, Khanado Samo is like, it's one of the famous 8 namtars of Tibet, right? My goal right now is just to do like a series of these 8 namtars in a span of 8 years.
Today, I'm heading out to check out the Tibetan Youth Festival that's happening at TCV School in Dharamshala. You have these amazing young talents, writers, activists, entrepreneurs, artists, startup founders, filmmakers, all under one roof. I'm super excited to listen to their stories and aspirations. So grab your umbrellas and raincoats, because monsoon in Dharamshala is far from over. It was a little foggy when I got to the spot. The organizers and the participant teams were still getting ready for the day. But man, I was pleasantly surprised to see the design and the layout of the venue. It was inspired from the traditional courtyard of our monasteries in Tibet, where you have this big outdoor space right in the middle of the structure. This piece was designed by Studio Yangten. And while I was walking through the stalls, a sudden familiar waft of fried bread and potatoes drew me closer to this busy little corner store put up by the school. This little stall was drawing all the tiny customers in their uniforms and the visitors alike. And oh, the temptation was too much to resist. But since I got here just now, I wanted to first check out the other counters and explore a bit. And as I was browsing, this young energetic couple, who are the founders of this venture, invited me for a quick demo of their products.
Number 10 sin jidangi de ha ko re ngaju yin gyu chda non chemical che ngaju gi go zhuya xiangbu che ani dong zhuya che subu zhuya che ani khashi kangbol timaka kangbol ma chana digel yang ngaju cream da soap yore subu zhuya nungyu ngaju commercial yin be na subu zhu du samba ngaju subu kya pa pa chung do ngaju ga ji dige chang de teng gu ma re subu zhu zao ji nungyu gi su su skin gi color yom ne she ya ku sti re an dinan ngaju dong zhuya do nya texture dam da ma ku ye nim da dramatic la de ta nima tu zu ko gebu gemu dige chodo maam chodo samba loma maam wi de chiudar dineshi nim da dramatic corona pure rang che powder search dige ngaju songyo yi di pesia da lo songyo da labdo bu dige le dong bu de an dong ma de yao ma ta zama de pen bu du lo was face wash powder yi face wash powder ni ba de rose and beetroot la shi ro la di yang je ge powder rang songyo de de yi na dong kha she kya pa kwa ro she dal do yin gyo yang de ge ya gu ye 아니 수부주에 도시생이 단계 쉬움네 시리에 센트럴 기바 지에 자콜은 티트리 거지 되는 모두 긴교다 안 되게 펜타고요 아니 라면 버출라 가지래 로스 클릭 같이 아니 심버지 가지기야 레몬 같이 지로라
So we have new product launch here. It's this facial oil serum, and then we have this one cream with the Sibakton and Bakcho. Two of them have the same ingredients. Both of them have a Sibakton and Bakcho. But the Sibakton has some more vitamin C than orange. And then Bakcho, and on the other hand, is a alternative to retinol. These days, many of the youngsters prefer to use retinol in their skincare product, right? The retinol is very harsh chemical. It's make your skin very super sensitive. When you go out in the sun, that's make your skin prone to burn to skin to sun exposure. So it's making your skin more thinner and super sensitive skin to sun. So that's why instead of the retinol, we have the plant-based retinol, which works similar to the retinol. It has similar structure in terms of chemical bonds. So it will work the same it will give you same benefits as the retinol does. So it gives you get rid of the wrinkles, also dark spots, hyperpigmentation. On the other hand, then we have Sibakton. It will work as vitamin C. It has more vitamin C, so that means it gives you more brightening benefit. So we have this facial oil serum and this one facial cream. So both of them give you multiple benefit in one product.
디 기시 줄라랑 직신나나 디네 지마카가 여 디 strong 부도이나 디 strong 여라 지마시케라 놈다 양 개와 수시 배티어스 perfume body lang that's strong though kasi tingi lang so the dito chasna yang go rose in rola light ti pomro in page ti ga chu da light do yin dijin ti ka chi da
This light is
lao light this rose ki type thing rola ti dang ge kirang chen gyo ra ta tin na ngaju gi yungyo de peche gi ta ngaju gi ta ngaju ni rose na ngaju gi family in the social life ne commercial ge chong ji ge mun yo tin sun da ngaju chong do dan sim mun do la ta nongyu gi nge chang shu bi na ji market na nongyu marketing chi na ngaju commercial do bi na ti pe kon chim chi ko ta ngaju gi commercial buy one get one free le do la ngaju gi minimum standard ka sha ta ta tin sun buy one get one da ma te chi tung mo ne better low profit percentage is 10% more.
Ani nga thanda small business chunju start chi dalo jinaniwa nangla ani kharela na para jewels ra ani genja di zo stainless steel gi so yore ani gold plated re ani khonzo waterproof che sweat proof re ani khashe sensitive skin din zo la khare allergy chaida hodin rig chai mar 아니 마음바 가라 단다다 디자인 믹스다 가 퀘스메라 마음바 가라 차시 가라 페바기 디스 여러 cultural design 여겨데 디스 앱 치고 섬스질라 단다 스타트업 래 yes.
I then bumped into one of the organizers of this festival and got to know about it in more detail.
It started off as an initiative that was really surrounded around bringing young people from all around the world together, and we decided to offer His Holiness the Dalai Lama a lifelong offering, which is a Tenshug on September the 10th. But at this opportunity where we have over 5,000 people registered to be able to make this offering to His Holiness, we said, we can't miss this chance where so many young people are meeting together, and so we decided to host a festival, and the festival is September 11th onto 13th for 3 days, a plethora of dialogue, conversations, a celebration really, that is what it is. In true essence, it's a celebration of our Tibetan unique identity, our culture, and an opportunity to really embody the unity of young Tibetans from all around the world coming together. So in these 3 days, we have the theme of Gazom, Delam, and Tamzi. Starting with Tamzi, it's pledge, Delam, gathering, and lastly but not the least, Gazom as a celebration. So we started off with panels that are intellectual, educational, helpful for people when it comes to culture, language, arts, and then we're going to wrap it all up with, of course, a good concert with amazing artists from all around the world. So this is how the festival is all about.
One of the counters that caught my attention was this comic rendering of our Tibetan classic opera stories, or play, and I had the chance to speak with the creator himself.
Basically, it's been a year since I released my debut Tibetan comic book. It's the story of Khanudrowa Sangmo from the land of Muntawang, right? And I've recently released the Tibetan version of the book. So the story, it's actually a 4-part series in English, but then this is the compiled version in Tibetan, yeah? And I've been making this comic for a year now. I've also, if you look over there, on that cardboard, yeah, this is gonna be like my next project. Yeah. So basically, Khanudrowa Sangmo is like, it's one of the famous 8 namtars of Tibet, right? And then my goal right now is just to do like a series of these 8 namtars in a span of 8 years, right? So it's been 1 year since I released that book now. In a course of 6 months maybe, this is gonna be released soon, like Losarpa, yeah, at Losar, yeah. I studied in Bangalore, yeah, and I used to work for like different studios where we'd work on different, like Indian comic books, mythological, Ramayana, Mahabharata, or we'd work on different versions of the Bible, yeah. And people there are lining up to try and work for these companies, right? And then there's so much rush. The pay is pretty good, but then during that time I got like a commission gig from the Tibetan government over here to draw for a comic book, but then the pay was very less. But then I still took it up because I was interested. I wanted to draw stuff for my community, right? And I saw the kind of books that they were making, and I felt like there was a really big need for Tibetan comic books because I did not really see there was like a good one, you know, out there. And that's when I started just scribbling Khanudrowa Sangmo, and I released like the first part, like a 30-page comic book, and I think it was very well received. People really liked it. I did not price it very expensive. It was like pretty inexpensive, the price, and people were buying it up. And then I thought that it's like a good path to walk on right now. And I released the part, whatever money I earned from the part 1, I released part 2, part 3, part 4, and now I have like a whole series, including the Tibetan version that is just newly released, right? So that's how it began. And then I started realizing how people were really liking the first namtar. So I thought I have like a whole series of namtars that I could do, you know, and after I finish all these, I feel like I'll have enough experience as a person or as an artist, right, that I could release my next, my own comic book. Yeah, like because our our tradition, Tibetan tradition, is so rich, right? We have so much history, we have so much culture, we have like all about the 6 wheels. There's so much. I think we could use a lot of that and make like an amazing comic book. So that's like my goal. It's like I'm kind of doing it for the community. There's like my contribution, like using soft power to kind of like tell people our stories, right, and kind of like make people know about Tibet. But in a way, it's also for me, so I can gain enough experience and enough practice, right, so I can release like my own comic book, which I hope in a span of 10 years, my skills will level up, right? And then it'll be on par with like all the other international artists displaying their works on different conventions, right? I would like to go there and represent my comic book that is based on Tibetan culture. I mean, yeah, that's my story, yeah.
After my little exploration, it was time for my little coffee break, and Juniper Cafe was right there, one of my favorite cafes in town. Guys, if you're still watching it and like it so far, give it a thumbs up or comment down below your favorite part or any suggestions. And if you're new to the channel, do consider subscribing to it. I promise I'll try to be worthy of your trust and hope you find some value as you spend your time watching my videos. I then went inside the Digital Hall to check out the event that was happening inside. The organizers did a brilliant job in curating different events at different locations so that the visitors could attend these events at their own leisure, and besides, it's a good exercise and excuse to simply walk and rearrange your thoughts before attending some of the serious conversations. The team did a wonderful job by naming these venues in the name of our major rivers in Tibet. For instance, Dichu, Machu and Kechu, etc. As I was coming out of the Machu Hall, I saw students playing football, and it really took me back to my childhood days. It's really strange. When we were kids playing football and attending classes, we would really envy people or outsiders who passed by our sight. We would envy their freedom, free from schedule and the confines of the 4 walls of classroom and the gong of the bell. We always yearned for that moment to be outside and free. And now that the tables are turned and you become the outsider looking at the students, gosh, you wish you were back in school. Free from the complexities and challenges of life, we yearn for that carefree moment where the only thing mattered was to fill your tummy and play around. And speaking of food, it was lunchtime and I had this delicious hot plate of momo from the Oma food store. Lastly, I went to check out the Kadok Art Collective. When I got there, one of the artists was surprised to see me and asked how I came to know about the spot. Since the location was a little off the main area, few turned up, and that's how he was surprised to see me. I spoke with one of the artists.
Tibetan community art platform emerging artists the youngster youth the platform space collective to build chara. The 2024 workshop chera Dharamshala area namola lapta ngas na dro tiswi lapta ngas na dro ne khonzula art ka ji workshop do che ne nyam do khonzula project introduce che project di do na dreaming Tibet le dreaming Tibet na da theme do di kisi ke bele na if you are in Tibet leisure if I were in Tibet ani khonzula the title do stages on khonzu gi imagination da khonzu gi the situation da zulab na so achani pebe network call khogyo joram juna khogyo on sorgyo adezuma and remona ma expression
아니 지단에 미망기 칼레데 즉 response reception 칼레데
단어가 당국하고도 여더라 칼로래 아주 많이 introduce 제 on the 즉 display 직 통해서 많이 이제 좀 줘야죠 이거 겨울에 install 체다 그래서 미기 성능 남말해줘다. 인지부터 될 도다 인다 인조지. 야고래야 되는 무슨 메시지 쪽으로 되는 awareness to exposure sawaji level society now still the response handabado kalana yagudu na mutuni ta kaloro also the work chira laga dala mutuni ni work change ni ya response ta critical dil ya do some do jisona artist ta free ne ko inspire cha da free ne ya manga do some good ani medium the powerful dot de
So this was day 2, Delam, or making connections and conversations. Despite the fog and the rain, people still turn up for the event. And personally, I had a great time here, learning new things and getting inspired by our youth. Such event was much needed for people to cheer up and look forward to after the long monsoon season in Dharamshala. This is day 3, and as the theme suggests, there is a lingering mood of a festive gathering and celebration. People were having a good time. The festival catered to everybody from old to young. More people have turned up, and I brought my family today. There were a lot of activities for children, and it feels like a wonderland. We walked into the Deja Vu Hall and found a host of activities for children. The Tibetan Museum of Central Tibetan Administration, Manjushri Education Services, and Karchung Children's Library were hosting these amazing events for children to participate. Children were introduced to the ways of life in Tibet, like kneading of tsampa, churning of the butter tea, hair braiding sessions, yak hair tents, etc. There were many other activities such as open children's library, guided reading sessions, clay making, and paintings, etc. Parents were frantically guiding children to attend these sessions. There were many other activities laid out in the evening as well, such as concert and Tibetan circle dances, but I couldn't attend the rest. The festival was such a breather from the long spell of monsoon for us living in Dharamshala, and I hope it continues over the years. Sometimes all we need is a little rekindling of the spirit, revisit our past, and nurture these stories for our next generation of our Tibetan youth. It's important to know our past so that we could appreciate where we're coming from and where we're heading to. And as they say, trees have roots, men have history.
This is what community is. Young people are coming together. They have always found ways to come together and make conversation, to heal, to thrive, because we know that our generations ahead have worked so hard to be able to give us the privileges and the ability for us to gather like this and celebrate our unique identity. Right now, the situation inside of Tibet is worsening every single day, where even holding a picture of His Holiness the Dalai Lama is illegal. And so here, while we live in the free world, we have an opportunity to not just preserve our culture and our identity, but to celebrate it loud and proud, and also think about what is our responsibility while we're in exile about amplifying the voices of Tibetans inside of Tibet. Yamdo inda.